Alright, fuckers and fuckheads. Now, we was talking a while ago about cats versus dogs and raccoons and squirrels as pets. And I get a lot of questions about my squirrels and my raccoons. And number one, if you're going to keep raccoons, keep you a doggy door to where they know that they're always free to go in and out on their own. In some states that covers your butt on having to have a wildlife permit that a lot of people, I don't know why they don't bother to get them, but a lot of people don't even know they're supposed to have. Because, well, hell, I feed them outside. They just chose to come in. I'm not keeping them in captivity. They're welcome to come in and out on their own. I don't mind. Fish and Wildlife can't do a damn thing about that. And they can stop them off your property, outside your property, but they cannot come on your property past that no trespassing sign without a warrant, and there's not a judge in the world that's going to issue a warrant to go on a property and get a wild animal that the owner says it's acceptable for that animal to be there, and actually feeds them outside. There may be a judge that fucked up in the head, but I've never met him. And then again, since Obama's been in office, I've seen a lot of really crazy stuff. But as far as the squirrels go, squirrels or raccoons, either one, don't make very good pets for the average person. Raccoons, because they're too loyal. And by that statement, I mean they will adopt one human, and it's not necessarily the one who feeds them. Where Gracie and Cooney love the shit out of me, they hate the hell out of Peggy. And they are every bit as dangerous as a dog of comparable size, if not more, because they've got claws. Oh, goddamn. Yeah. We in the middle of talking about dogs and cats and raccoons and squirrels. You want to listen? I'll put you on speakerphone and I'll warn you that the camera's on, so I don't know if that sucker can pick you up or not. Alright. You can even throw shit in if it's funny. Alright. By the way, this is a buddy of mine out in California that Did that turn the speaker on? Say something. Yeah, alright. Now the speaker's on there. Hey, grab me that charger thing out the other room. That one with the speakers.
I guess not.
No, I don't have enough battery for that.
I can't get in there without being on the camera.
Oh, fucking put the blanket over your head.
No,
God damn.
you go get it.
Are you camera shy? Sometimes I ain't sure if you're blonde or fucking Yankee, which side it comes from, but.
She can't keep me. She can't be seen on camera.
Alright. What'd you do, put a rubber band on the cord, trying to make me all organized and shit? She got a rubber band on the damn cord, like it has to be tied up and neat or something. Alright. So now, that work for speakers? Yeah, apparently it does. But, anyway, before Joe there called, we were talking about cats and dogs, and I just started on explaining why raccoons, being as loyal as they are, they don't make very good pets for most people because they're too loyal. If the person in question that they have adopted as their human, and like I said, it doesn't matter if that's the human that feeds them or not. You know what, I'm going to put that thing on the phone, or on the regular charger, because I hear that thing buzzing. Damn. And I think this glass would probably make a better amplifier anyway. Okay, hopefully he'll call back, but I'll try and get him on here. I gotta go into my, I've got an app in here. If my phone is being probed, second channel, it'll kill all my contacts, my recent call list, everything. But I do have a way to get back into my contacts. Just have to unlock the damn thing. Anyway, raccoons, like I say, will make a good pet, but they have to be in a calm environment, because if they're around, if their human is someone who yells or has a temper, even just a little bit, or despises someone, they're loyal enough that they will mimic their human. Monkey see, monkey do, only it's raccoon do, see, raccoon do. That ain't always a good thing. And like I say, they're not the safest pet in the world for that reason alone. If they see a parent hitting a child, later on, they will attack that child eventually. It will happen. They have to be in a calm environment, and being around a bunch of rowdy kids is not the best environment or the safest. Squirrels, on the other hand, are also extremely intelligent. I'd rate them above cats, right up there with dogs. Definitely smarter than rats. I think he's on the iPhone number. Fuck, I can never tell which one he called from. Hello? Oh.
Yellow.
Okay, sorry about that. And by the way, this man on the phone here, he's kind of an expert in dogs.
That might be small stretch.
I said kind of,
Yeah.
but
I no, they did not qualify when they barked.
well, yeah, this is true. He deals with big guard dogs, not little puppies. Well, I think you guys do sell puppies, right? Italian Mastiffs? Corsas, okay. Well, I thought those were Neos. Okay.
Yeah. But they were originally the same dog.
Okay. But, he's pretty good with dogs, from what I understand. We've never met in person, but I kind of know what he does, and he does some good work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But anyway, to cover on the squirrels, now squirrels are definitely more intelligent than rats. They are not as trainable. Whereas rats, you can teach them to attack in groups. A squirrel, you cannot do that. Squirrels actually have moral values. A squirrel will attack one-on-one. You cannot train them to do otherwise, and the rest will watch, and they will not join in. They will prevent another animal from joining in to the best of their abilities. I don't know if they do this in the wild. I do know that the ones that I've had as pets, that's what they do. And yes, I've done the maze, the obstacle course experiments in the backyard, and my entire house is decorated in shoe mark modern. Well, I think you got that same problem, only it's your tires, ain't it?
Yeah, it's true. Dog that is empty of all in the rubber.
Now, we're gonna get into the comparison between dogs and cats. And some of y'all, from a couple of other sites, y'all know that I don't have any at the moment, but I've patched up some pretty big cats.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello?
Alright. It sounds like I'm in a college class with a professor standing at the other end of the auditorium.
I was actually gonna go into a rant on cats and dogs. You know, like a dog is loyal. A dog loves you. A cat, if you have a cat, oh, here we go. I done got her right. If you have a cat, no, you do not own that house. That cat owns that house. And your presence there is merely tolerated. That's it. That house belongs to that cat. A dog, you come home, he's loyal, he's gonna lick you, he's gonna knock you down, he wants to be petted, scratched behind the ears. A cat sees you coming to the door. If he could speak, his first words are, "Feed me, motherfucker." Because that's all you exist for with a cat, is to feed them. A dog, you put down that dog food and he knows that people food is a treat. A cat, you turn your back, that people food on the table gonna be gone. A dog.
If you don't clean on the trees for the kitty, there goes your shoebox.
Yeah, that's true. He's right there.
Shoebox, hat box, gutter box, shit box, gutter box, just turn into a hat though.
Yeah, and a cat will eat your weed.
Yeah.
Cat gets mad at you, he'll find you a bag of weed and eat it. And we'll get the raccoon to open the cupboard for him. I don't know how in the hell they communicate like that, but
On foot in the cat.
yeah, that's about it. Yeah, let's see if that puts some bass in it. I put the phone on top of a coffee cup.
There we go.
Yeah, that puts some volume to it. And it's on top of a glass table. We're experimenting with acoustics here.
Because experiment in acoustic anomalies from expected fun. That's the next video.
But
Between dogs and cats, dogs and family, cats have staff.
yeah,
Like, your sole purpose, clean all the training, provide me food. Let me get her mail, drink your beer.
yeah, he's right. You know, cat will knock over your beer to get at it. A dog will wait until you pour him some. See, dogs got manners, cats don't. Cats don't care.
Yeah, but it's that your dog is trained for something. He doesn't be a good dog all day. If you're drinking a beer, you're probably just up for one.
Yep.
Cattle's not what you distract with stress out of you, so you spill your beer. And then when you get up to go get something to clean up the beer out here with no floor, so you can just get other don't pick. There goes all the beer. Cat got it.
See right there. I mean, you know, cats are. I got Marie's ears are red back here. I mean, you know, she just wants to shoot something in to defend her beloved kitty cats. She won't do it though.
Well, when it comes to kitties, I prefer the North American
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes to dogs, I mean, I like a big dog because, I mean, I like knowing that I'm not gonna trip over the fucker and hurt him. I've never understood them people that want them little frou-frou lap mutts and them yappy little chihuahuas. I mean, you know, what, a chihuahua trying to defend your home? Kick that fucker across the room, he ain't even gonna hurt your boots. Tell you try and pick up hog at 210 pounds, you gonna get a hernia. Yeah, I think a lot of people get them as fashion accessories too, because you see these girls, I don't know about California, but I know here in Florida, if you go up to like Sarasota Square Mall, you got these girls that have them in their purses and shit. They got a purse just for a dog. And now, y'all, he's big enough to pull that one off. But, and now, you see, dogs are highly intelligent, and they can be trained to do just about anything out of love for their owner or love for their trainer, which eventually does pass to their owner. Not right away. I mean, if you get a dog from a trainer, he's loyal to that trainer the first 5 or 6 months. He's not loyal to the owner until he realizes that the trainer is not coming back. And sometimes that doesn't work out so good because if they get abandonment issues, it's just like a human. And raccoons exhibit the same behavior. If you say, like little brown Bubba. Yeah, I bottle fed him when he was a baby, and he's loyal to me, but he had that abandonment issue over there, and I had to bring him back over by my house because he was getting violent with Dennis, and not because of Dennis, well maybe because of somebody else there, which name we won't mention because that would be a direct clue as to where he was. The dogs get the same thing, and sometimes it has a psychological effect on them just like it does with humans. And they also, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but large dogs, they need a place to run. If you keep them caged in, even in a small backyard, versus a large backyard where they feel like they're free, you know, a dog hog size has got to have 10 or 12 acres minimum. What about the ones that you raise?
Let's see,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, more like hostile, because I've seen the larger dogs, I've seen dogs even in the shelters, the smaller ones even. They'll get hostile from being caged up. And I've done a little reading, humans do it too. A lot of people, the nicest person in the world that you can know will go into prison and come out one evil motherfucker. It's not really because of the prison, it's because cages tend to make any creature lose their mind. Which is why all my creatures are free to come and go as they please. They've always got an open doggy door. And it's their choice to be in the house if they want to be. Then none of them are forced. They've spotted dinner.
Yeah, there's been dog runs. They're looking over my shed, and there's about 20 or 30 turkeys on the hill. They're like, we want dinner.
Hey, they don't need no hunt. They don't need no hunting license. I said they don't need no hunting license.
If it wasn't for the fact the ones I have here aren't my personal dog, if I had my personal dog here, he'd be going to retrieve a bird for me, but I don't quite trust these ones enough yet to do that with.
Yeah.
That's just it. Yeah, those are good. Okay. Yeah. Yep, well, sure.
And now, I see a lot of people, they keep their dogs outside. And I'm guilty of that with Hog up to a point, but he has a home that he can run into. That's his choice to go inside or wander around down there and have a blast. And everybody down there feeds him. Fuck, we got little old ladies coming from up the street just to feed him, because when I first got him, he was skin and bones. He was 180 pounds. I mean, he's up to 211, 210 right now. It depends on if he took a turd before I weighed him or not that morning, but the vet says about 220 should be his right weight.
You got plenty of those little fashion accessory dogs that hit the same amount as one of our parents.
Yeah, yeah.
My significant other has this little dog fashion accessory. He has shit his after mine was a little kid. She has a new job, no longer just a fashion accessory. Her mommy, if nothing was going on, it's to wake up the big dog and say, go eat. That's your duty. It's like
Yeah, that's something I've noticed in the past. I mean, a lot of people think that that's a cartoon thing, but if you do have a small dog and a big dog, it always seems like the little dog is the boss. Even though the big dog could just,
the boss.
huh?
But think the boss. My favorite stuff, he's gonna be early.
Yeah. You're doing the hair. Yeah. I've never had a porcupine. I pulled one off the side of the road one time and thought it was hurt, and I guess they play possum just like a possum does, because that sucker wasn't hurt. I was picking quills out of me for a week. Ew, that would hurt.
That'd be bad. Yeah. That's critters you don't want to play with.
Possums they'll generally make a good pet. Problem is you gotta get them when they're young before they get to hating humans.
Yeah.
And again, like a raccoon, they are too loyal to make a really good pet. You have to have a calm environment. If you've got yelling around, they're gonna get violent. But a possum or a raccoon, as I said earlier, will adopt one human and not necessarily the one who feeds them, and they will mimic that human, monkey see, monkey do. A possum will mimic an entire family. So you have to consider all of the personalities in the family before even considering a possum. Huh?
I just thought about that.
You're,
That would be bad.
yep.
That would be the first thing I'd ever teach my fuckers.
Possums aren't the most intelligent. They are pretty intelligent, but they're not the most intelligent.
No, but for what they're lacking intelligence, I will say that they are smarter than something like that.
Yeah. And dogs, the comparison to squirrels, I was talking earlier about squirrels have morals. You cannot train them to attack in a pack like you can with rats or dogs. And cats, I don't think you can train them fuckers. I think they train the humans. I'm not really sure about that. But possum or a squirrel has the morals to, they will not only fight one-on-one, the rest of them will keep the other critters out of a fight. Squirrel can be trained to go for the jugular or the genitals. So can a rat, but a rat can be taught to do that in a group, whereas squirrels cannot. Dogs can be taught to do that in a group, whereas squirrels cannot. Or maybe I'm a lousy trainer, I don't know.
I do not have any experience training squirrels, but I do have experience training dogs, and yes, they can go in very large groups to attack some stuff.
Yeah.
So not dogs that have some more, because if you get more than 130
Well, that's another thing too. You can call a dog back off. If you tell a squirrel to attack, there is no way you're going to, until it's done, he's not backing off. And no, I've never trained them to attack other animals, but I have seen right on YouTube and on several other sites where squirrels have attacked snakes and chickens, and I've actually seen in person a squirrel whoop the shit out of a mongoose. And that was not a North American squirrel, nor did that happen in North America, but I've seen a squirrel literally just whoop the shit out of a mongoose. They're that quick. Mongoose made the mistake of messing with mama's babies up in that tree. That was it for that mongoose. And dogs will do the same thing. A cat will defend their babies up to the point where they see the opposition is too much for them. A dog, yeah, you can call them off from an attack, but if you mess with one of their puppies and they don't want you to, you better hope it's a dog that you can whoop, because it's going to try and whoop you. Squirrels are about the same way. They will protect their babies to the end, and they will protect their human to the end, although they're not a very effective attack animal. Granted, yes, you can train them to go for the jugular, you can train them to go for the genitalia, and that buys you the time to get in there and do something yourself, or at least get your pistol out and shoot whoever it is that they decided to attack. But
squirrel to attack for you, it better be so you can put the clip in the
you got them teeth in your nuts that can snap a walnut.
Yeah. I'm trying to think in my head, 'cause I work on the master at one thing. And I kind of laugh at the guys that have, German shepherds now, because they'll get this bite from mastiffs. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but when you take bites from them big mastiffs, you got body gear on, usually.
Most of the time.
I mean, German Shepherd, you don't need body gear. Thick sweatshirt will do.
Yeah. Big left ear and understanding of how to each every
Hold on, you're doing that helicopter thing. It ain't me, I got 3 bars.
actually pretty hard I got.
You what?
It says I have 3.
Hmm.
I love on my other phone, when my other phone went out, because I had 4G, so 4 bars of 4G unit went out.
Yeah, this one will do that, but it only does it when I go from 3G to edge, it'll lose the connection.
Yeah.
It'll go from edge to 3G, but it won't go from 3G back to edge. That General Dynamics one that I've got does the same thing. I don't know, I think it might just be AT&T, something in their switching system, their network, I don't know. But, and that one Verizon phone that I've got, oh no, that's because that's why I had to get this one, is because when I go offshore more than, I think 17 miles or something, Verizon starts charging me international rates. AT&T on this world plan, world phone, whatever the hell it is, it costs me the same, call any damn where I want. I don't have to worry about it.
Well, you can trade your
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. In fact, if they're a family, you only have to train one, the rest will join in. But if they're from separate families, it's 50-50 whether or not they join in. And no, by the way, I do not use any of my animals to attack actual humans. It's just nice to know that they could. And my training experiments with critters other than dogs are, well, more curiosity than anything. How smart are these fuckers? That's really where I'm at with it. How smart are they? Do they know to differentiate between a jugular and an Adam's apple? Do they know to differentiate between a set of nuts and an arm that, yeah, okay, flip that motherfucker off your arm. You ain't gonna flip him off your nuts because you're afraid he's gonna rip your nuts. You gonna wait until he lets go before you do anything. I don't care how. Yeah. The what now? They'll let go if you push the button? Oh yeah, the Freeland ones, okay. I don't know, you might scare him into biting again. Or harder.
Yeah.
never found a way to call a squirrel off. Rats, I've found a way to call them off. And that's something I won't publicly disclose because I don't recommend that type of training for that type of animal for anyone. And as much as I love my little squirrels being in my house and wandering around and decorating the place in Chew Mark Modern, I can afford it. Most people can't. And actually, I don't give a shit what the place looks like anyway. I'm old. I ain't out to impress nobody. Yeah, it's not like I've got 20-year-old hotties running in and out of the place. If I do have 20-year-old hotties running in and out of the place, it's probably a nurse from a VA. And she ain't interested in me no way. She's just there because it's a fucking job. But there she. I don't know. I think at my age, I'd probably have to pay double for that kind of action. I've spent. Huh? Yeah, they're all in their late 20s, mid 30s here. Or they seem to be. I mean, I could be getting bad at guessing ages, but late 20s, mid 30s. This is true, this is true. I mean, my eyesight is getting bad. I mean, I've spent my whole life chasing fat joints and skinny women. Boy, have I fucked that one up. Yeah, I always get that one backwards. Yeah. Yeah, this is true. That and she looks like she's about to chuck that Kindle at my head. Huh? It looks like she's about to chuck that Kindle she's playing with at my head. She's got one of them. That's the Fire HD? She got one of them and she got tired of her regular Kindle last year. And she bought this one, and I think the only difference is this one's got Wi-Fi, because for what she does, I've never seen her do anything more than go on Facebook and whack off to internet porn. Yeah. You're saying femdumtube.org is probably the most cache site in her internet cache? Or what's that other one? Clips for sale? Fetish section?
I'm on Pinterest.
Pinterest? Yeah, well, she got a computer over there with speakers and microphone and shit, but she never turns the damn thing on, and I don't think she even knows it's capable of voice command. Or is that the one with, like, no memory? Is that the one that I was teasing you about? My fucking video card has more memory than your computer?
Yeah, because it's old.
Yeah, she's got some, I don't think it's a Xeon, it's Vive Pentium, it's pre-dual core. She showed. Yeah. Let me try putting this thing on the wood here. Okay, now try it.
So you put me on the top.
Hold on. How's that?
I don't know. How is it?
Much better.
I never thought Tom would hope these things put me off wood. I'm a little big to fill your laptop.
Yeah, this is true. Hell, you can make 4 of me these days. But, no, I put you on this TV tray thing that, I don't know, it's wood, it's echoey, it sounds better than that other thing did.
The only trouble even on the Rednecks thing, that's been a long time.
Well, I don't have any damn styrofoam around. I can't help it. If I had a styrofoam cup, I'd put the styrofoam cup on the back of the phone. But you know, I got one of these lazy Yankees here afraid of a camera. She ain't gonna get up and go get me no styrofoam cup, so we can't pull that experiment because I don't know where the hell she put them.
Yeah, but you can't.
Do what?
Yeah, yeah. You know, old school arcade metal cup can.
Oh yeah. Nah, I got those at the other house.
Shit. Well, yeah. What you gotta do is just put some big layers, it's on the middle. This ends up, you got a little lamp you're down.
But
Yeah, it's getting cold. I'm trying to start the outdoors, but you're going to put this little lamp outside. I don't want it to start. So, I'm going to start. Andy, Fred, with your acetone.
you're using acetone as starting fluid?
Yes, sir.
I hope like hell you ain't got aluminum pistons.
What was that?
I said, I hope like hell you ain't got aluminum pistons.
Oh, sure, my barbecue. Okay, that must be.
My favorite one is to use brake cleaner. It cleans all the stuff out of your catalytic perverter. And if you got a little bit of oil around your valve seals, it'll blow that shit right out. I wonder if ain't this right. It was that light. It's alright, hell, I'm probably gonna title it Rednecks Sitting Around Talking on the Damn Phone. Well, I'm gonna play it first and make sure that I can hear the phone conversation. The camera's across the room. I come over here, I'm lost because, you know, women call it cleaning. I call it the bitch done hid the shit. Because you can't never find nothing after it. It died again. See, I got 4 bars there. You did what? So you're saying you had to duck and run?
No, I had to do the breakdancing move, you know, where you shove your pelvis forward, your head goes going back.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what oh shit. But on the good news, it's, you know, 14 degrees outside, well, 49 degrees outside. We can get a phone though, but my fear voice is starting, so I'm not camper.
And by the way, he is literally camping. One of the sites that he's responsible for guarding, we ain't gonna give no dates, we ain't gonna give no time frames, but had some problems, so he's out there personally camping on the site. Or am I wrong? Did you switch? With a very large number of dogs. What?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, you keep. I got like 4 bars now, and you keep doing the helicopter thing on me.
Well, hang on, let me tell you from the other phone.
You what now?
I'm calling from my work phone, hang on.
Okay.
Alright, it's just it doesn't work. Let go. I had to use my work phone in Florida Rednecks.
It's all right. I know one guy that's got me in there is Charlie Manson. Another one's got me is ZZ Top. Yeah, okay. Hello.
Hello.
That's better. Now I can hear you.
Yeah. Amen for work phone.
Yeah, they can't see which number's calling, so don't sweat that.
Huh?
I said they can't see which number's calling, so don't sweat that.
Okay.
But, no, I was saying you were on the site, and unless you've changed what you're doing, you're out there for a while, I guess.
Yeah, here's a little.
Don't give a time frame.
Amount of time. I got my dogs. I've been training my dogs while I'm here, but I am literally camping. I'm sleeping in a, what is that, 2002 Chevy work van. No, it's not a refit special. It does have windows.
Ah, man. They couldn't give you one of the cool, they couldn't give you one of the cool ones?
No. But I'll tell you, it is kind of bad because I had to climb on the roof of the bitch last night and take the roof up because they took the ladder rack off of it before they gave it to me. And the motherfuckers didn't fill in the holes.
Well,
Last night.
that's just proof right there that there's rednecks everywhere.
I'm proud of my redneck heritage. It's kind of like, there's people that are rednecks and think they're rednecks, and then there's the people that think they're too educated to be rednecks, and they just call themselves MacGyver.
Yeah, I think that's I think the MacGyver claim, I think that's a Northwest thing. Not Midwest, Northwest, like from that state between Montana and Washington, from about there over.
Oh. Are you talking about the place that you can't say in East of them? I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
yeah, I'd have pimped, now bitch, where's my money?
What happened?
I was trying to lure her into saying it instead of you. You said Idaho, I said, well, I'd have pimped, now bitch, where's my money?
Well, unfortunately, I sometimes react quicker than the females that are at your house.
Yeah, like
The only difference is, if you call me and ask for a Disney in the middle of the night, I'm gonna tell you your shit out of whack. That's too far away.
she's sitting there playing on Pinterest. I don't know what the hell she's doing, but she seems to be absorbed in it.
So does that mean they have a penny wallet that goes on your wrist?
A pin wallet?
Penny wallet. You know, kind of like a change purse, but it's a penny wallet. Goes on your wrist.
I don't know.
Where you can pinch pennies. Pinterest.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know, it's that digital world shit. I've been sharing a few things off of YouTube and Facebook on there, but I haven't really dug into their algorithm too much because they don't really seem to ban anything other than outright XXX porno.
I don't know, they banned the video of one of my friends on his motorcycle. That got banned.
Yeah, but that was criminal activity. That's just like that one channel that I used to have where I used to put up my street race videos.
Yeah.
That's criminal activity. That's why that whole channel got shut down.
Well, his wasn't criminal activity, his was just joyriding around in club colors, that's all.
Yeah.
I was doing a race video, him riding around on his Harley in club colors. They banned it.
I can't see anything wrong with club colors unless somebody running the site is from an opposing club.
Yeah. That would be interesting. I think it would be hilarious if somehow we got all of the people in Washington to wear like either NASCAR jackets or club colors so we knew who they were running with.
We know who they're running with anyway. They're running with the money.
Well, yeah, that's why they have what is that, the Benjamin Franklin Club?
Yeah. Yeah, but let's not get into politics really because I've been doing some pretty in-depth research lately. Yeah.
Understatement of the year.
Huh?
Alright. So, can I hear you now?
Oh no, I can hear you.
Alright, sweet. And have you working on top of a mason jar? It's a 7-cup jar. With the speaker actually going into some of my medicine. And I'm preparing to fix some of my painkillers. Carry on.
Painkillers. That's why I chew weed. I don't want to get hooked on them damn things. But
This is the same kind of painkiller you use, son, except it's fresh from the source.
mine's always fresh from the source right out here on this sand island out here. Within eyesight of the sheriff's dock too. But
This one was provided to me from my buddy who decided he wanted to have his own little originals. So, he decided to share.
good deal.
Yep. There's something we need to teach a squirrel how to roll a joint. That would be awesome.
You know, I've never. They'll pick up a joint and they'll rip it apart. And like Misfit, buddy of mine used to bring his bag down whenever he'd get a bag because he was always getting this bunk ass fucking, you know, the brickweed you bought in high school.
Yeah, I didn't play with brickweed in high school, but the stuff that you're talking about is called Mexican commercial.
Yeah, we call it dirtweed, brickweed, Mexican commercial. The stuff you go out to Texas is $300 a pound as long as you're buying 10 pounds. But
Yeah.
he, it's not a limit, it's a minimum. To get that price, it's $500 a pound if you don't buy it at, you know, if you don't buy 10 pounds. But he used to always get it. Whenever he'd get his bag, he'd come down, and this was when Misfit was really young. He'd put it in a cake pan, and Misfit would leave the buds alone. He'd pick up the buds, look at them, take the seeds out, and put the buds down relatively unbroken. He wasn't interested in the buds. He just wanted the seeds. But I never trained him to do that. And my granddad, when I was a little kid, he had a squirrel that did the same thing. Only his was a, he had the white one that doesn't have the pink eyes. It's not a true albino, it's just a white squirrel. And it's native to somewhere around Kentucky or somewhere up in that area, because normally he was down here in Florida and he was in Alabama for quite a while. I don't know where he got it. But he went up to Kentucky a lot, and I remember that was about when he came up with that particular critter. And there was no training required. And I've heard about people with birds that did that. One of them was a festival Amazon, and the other one was a blue front. What is that? Hey, that macaw that's at the restaurant. What the hell is that? It's blue with white. It's a fucking macaw, but they've got a blue front or some shit like that. I know it was $8,000 to buy a 10-year-old bird that turned out to be a fucking another male. But that particular bird was at another place, and no training required. Would just pick out the seeds and leave the buds alone. And I've seen a festival Amazon, which is a regular parrot about half their size, do the same thing. What other animals will do that?
Chick.
Let's see, birds will do it, squirrels will do it, rats will eat the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, rats will eat the stems.
Yeah. My friend Gordy had a rat, and that fucker would like let it loose with an untrimmed plant, it would eat all the man leaves and the stems. Only problem is you'd have to shake the buds up relatively completely, because it was not a very sedentary job for the rodent.
Oh yeah, yeah. Rabbits will eat the whole damn plant.
Yep.
Horses will eat the tops.
Huh?
Horses will eat the tops. I don't know if I've never seen one. I've never seen them eat the whole thing, but they'll eat the tops when they're budding out. I've seen them do that.
Yeah, they go for the coldest when they're stoned for a week.
Yeah. Of course, now bear in mind, y'all, my only experience with horses was one of my other granddad's Belgians. That's my life experience with horses, and watching him go out and eat that wild ditchweed, that was how I know they'll eat the tops, and maybe there was something wrong down at the bottom, because this was back in the days when Alabama would still let you use anhydrous ammonia. I don't think that, does anywhere let you use anhydrous anymore?
How would I know?
You know how many places let you use it anymore? Alaska? No, man, they got more EPA than California does. It's like $25,000 you spill a quart of oil in Alaska.
No, the reason why I said Alaska is because they'll let you use it, they can't you?
Yeah, but they've also got some of the last of the respectable Leos.
Yeah.
But I think that's because the population is so sparse, and even though you got a lot of criminals running up there, you know, hoping that nobody will extradite that far or whatever, most of the people up there are pretty honorable, and they ain't gonna put up with no dishonorable cop. In Montana's pretty much the same way. Sparsely populated areas are generally that way. Canada, the Yukon territories, eastern Canada and southern Canada down by the border where the major cities are, yeah, it's just like any major city in the US. You got twice as many corrupt ones as you got good ones. And for the Leos out there listening to this, don't neither one of us have anything against law enforcement officers at all. Except for the ones who refuse to obey the laws that they are sworn to uphold. Now, in my case, I'm the officer who picks up that badge and does to the best of his abilities to act within the law or the laws that he is sworn to uphold. That officer has my respect. I won't help him bust nobody, but you know, if that motherfucker needs a tire changed or a tune-up on his car, I'll help that motherfucker any way I can. If he dies and his family needs the money, well, I'll help him out. I'll help out that family. If they don't need the money, I won't do shit for them. But that's just common sense. Save it for the ones that need it. Now, I don't know what Joe's position is on that, but that's my position.
Law enforcement goes like this. You take the badge and the pistol, and you raise your hand and you swear in and you say you will uphold the laws that are against the rule book to the best of your ability. I got nothing against you. But Todd, I will help you out any way I can. Yeah, if you swear me in, I'll take down the speeder myself and enjoy the chase. But, my issue comes with people that overstep their bounds, and I'm not going to say that I'm a saint, but if you're going to pull me over, make sure you're pulling me over for something legitimate. That's my take.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my beef with law enforcement in general is, you know, during my career, I got to meet and sit in the back room with a lot of them. And I've watched them sit there and talk to each other. Well, no, I said this in my statement, you gotta make yours match. I think that shit's wrong. I think that should be some sort of a crime. Because I think that each officer should say exactly what they heard and saw and not what the other one wants them to say. The officers who go out there and knowingly and or willingly violate the laws that they are sworn to uphold intentionally, I have no respect for. I'm not the one to do the job, I'm not the one to take any actual action, but I consider them below the scum on the bottom of whale poop. If there's anything lower than that, put them there too. The ones that do their absolute best to obey the laws they're sworn to uphold, they have my utmost respect. Them other kind, I got no respect for. And that's that includes family members. But,
I think I'm coming into that Northwest version of Rednecks now. I take some of that their medicine, and I'm feeling creative.
yeah, I hear shit crinkling in the background. I figure you're taking a Twinkie wrapper and a lighter and making road flares or something.
Well, let me do it this way for you.
No, he's making bongs. He's making bongs.
Yep.
Yeah, that heater motor and some of that duct work out of that van, you know, you could probably make you a good fan forced one there.
No, I made a forced induction one earlier. It worked relatively well, but when my buddy came up to bring me through, he kind of freaked me out, so I had to put it back on.
I don't know.
So that the exhaust pipe heated up to the bulb, and then I had a fan with some duct work that shot the smoke straight down into we have one of the oxygen masks for firefighting. Our commercial forestry department plug that in, turn the fan on. Other than the carbon monoxide flying around for everybody else, it's pretty dope if you're inside fast.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd like the carbon monoxide. I did the one with the, took the 12 volt cigarette lighter element out. And you put it was the cap on top of the weed on top of the bowl. It was one of those screw together bowls originally. And then on the back side, I had one of those industrial aquarium pumps. This was back when I still had all them tanks at the house. I had one of them industrial aquarium pumps shooting out at like 40 CFM, you know, which is nothing but clean air. It was an oilless pump. And you'd hit the button, which would trigger the relay, kick on that big pump and kick the lighter at the same time. And when the smoke started coming out of the bong, because it would bubble on its own, when the smoke started coming out the bong, you'd put your mouth over it and just take as much as you could. And you could, somebody your size could probably take a whole bowl. Somebody my size or Marie's size, we was lucky if we got a quarter of a bowl out of it before we had to give up. She's a lightweight smoker anyway. I mean, she's one of them, you know, that it doesn't matter. You give her indica or sativa, one or two hits, she's out like a light. Don't get her stoned while she's tying you to the bed, because your ass gonna be there until she wakes up in the morning. Yeah.
I got something that you can give to her that you could leave the house for 2 days and come back and you'd probably still be in bed asleep.
That wouldn't surprise me. A buddy of mine brought over some stuff about 3 o'clock this morning. I don't know what it was. I know it was indica. I don't know what strain. He picked it up on his way through from right up there, pretty close to where you're at. And stopped by. He lives down there in Cape Coral. He used to work for me down there. But little teeny bud wasn't no bigger than the end of one of these pins you touch your phone with. You know, the rubber tip? Yeah. I was out till about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And I've been smoking since I was a little kid. And normally, indica will make me go. Sativa will put me down. Yeah, I know. I'm backwards. I never could get anything right. I'm a damn redneck. You know when we're born in Alabama, we're automatically backwards, right?
Well, Todd, I was going to say, for most rednecks, they're morally challenged, intellectually advanced individuals that have a creative ability as a thinker. That's my definition of a redneck.
Well, them Alabamans are so inbred.
No, only the ones in Coleman. I'm from Brownsburg. And really, I mean, you know, as far as us people from Alabama, you know, having sex with sheep, I was just helping that motherfucker through the fence, I swear. He was stuck. And I didn't know it was a male. Well, that reminds me, you know, me and my granddad, we had to run a load of hogs into town one day, and yes, I know I'm Jewish, I don't eat pork, I truly don't, I keep basically kosher, but when a hog's alive, it's okay, you can pet it, you can keep it as a pet, you can feed them, you can sell them to the goy all day long. But we was running a load of hogs in town one day, and I wanted to take my cut and go by the whorehouse, and my granddad, he said, well, no, you can't do that. Because you're gonna need that money. You're gonna need that money to get your boat motor fixed or my motorcycle fixed. I don't remember. So tell you what, we're gonna pull over at this rest area up here and just get you one of these sows in the back. It's just like human. It's just like human. It's closest you're gonna get to the real thing, and it's probably tight. So you know, I got in the back of the truck, and I mean, you know, my granddad, he just boom, them drawers was down. He was in one of them hogs. Yeah, I was kind of leery about it, and I dropped my drawers and got up in one, and man, this just ain't the same. And he looked over at me and he said, well, no wonder you picked the ugliest looking boar in the truck.
You are so full of it. You are so full of it.
That explains a couple of things, John.
That's actually, I don't think it was Mike Shelton's joke. It was the other famous gay guy that's on my yearbook thing.
I don't know. I haven't been on your yearbook thing in a while.
But
It's my camping set has no ear.
well, you know, you need to send a prepaid mailer, and I've got a wonderful 24 dB grid antenna I can send out your way.
Okay, I need your address and how much it's gonna, what size do I need to send you?
We'll do that off the air, but it's probably going to be 24 by 18, about 2 inches high, because I can take the waveguide out and take the cap off and lay the waveguide and the cap in there flat.
Okay.
I know we were shooting legal power without even breaking any laws. We were shooting from Englewood to Fort Myers, and both towers were only at 55 feet.
Oh shit. Okay, yes please. When we're not doing your video, it'll get temporary.
Yeah. I think, I'm not sure if they're 24s or 30s, but they're old hyperlinks, back when Hyperlink had some quality before this new company bought them out and they went all Chinese on us.
Yeah.
And I think I've got one of those Orinoco Max Legal Power USB adapters too, but don't quote me on that. I think I've still got one laying around that didn't get broken.
That would be nice.
I know I've got some of the what are the ones that I just bought for all them notebooks? They're not 3Com. Cisco Aeronet, AIRO-net. Cisco's, but they're ABG. They won't do N.
Okay.
I bought a whole bunch of them. I made a mistake. Yeah, I know that they're max legal power, but I made a mistake. They won't do N. So, I mean, those are on the free pile as far as I'm concerned. They've been sitting there for about a year now.
I'll take it. We'll have to figure out what size box we need to send you.
At least 7 or 8 months. No, those are the mini PCI cards. I could just throw them in with the antenna.
Okay.
Those are the little mini, they go on the bottom of your notebook.
Yeah.
Almost look like a notebook SO DIM or something. I think the only thing that I wouldn't send you would be the coax, because I know you got that Mars Cap endorsement, but It'd be cheaper to just have you buy your own coax than ship it.
Yeah. Coax is a nightmare for some reason.
No, the only thing I've got laying around is that Amprex 1 7/8 hardline.
Yes, please.
Yeah, but I don't have, I've got the ends to go from it to RPTNC, but I don't have the angled ends or anything like that. And for what you're trying to do, that, I suppose you could use it, you could use it as a partial, as reinforcement for your tower.
Yeah. So if I plug this in and try and use it as a Wi-Fi booster, how many Wi-Fi networks am I gonna take?
I don't know, it depends on where you're at and how high you can get it. Like I say, at 55 feet each, max legal power, in fact 5% under on both ends, just so we were sure that we didn't break any laws. Fort Myers to Englewood's gotta be at least 50 miles. But you only get like a 10-degree cone out of these. These aren't like their normal grid antennas or their panel antennas where you get a 30-degree cone.
Okay. So I'm up on a hill with the city behind me and clean line of sight for like 25 miles out of the water.
You'll get something. Might only be at 1 megasecond, but you'll get something. Usually one of these off of just a UFL to TN or RPSMA on, or UFL to TN, RPTNC to the antenna, to RPTNC on the antenna end. I mean, 8-9 miles is nothing.
I might have to talk my boss into putting a receiver on the company building. Let me, or send her a repeater. Let me just send it to me. Because I have one inside all the way to my office. It's kind of neat. A cold couch.
Yeah. I don't mind sending you a pair. We tore all them down because we just went to a new system. I'm getting, where I was only getting 5 max on that system, and I was getting 1 consistent guaranteed, and I actually had to lock it down. This new system, we're getting 22 megs a second.
That's not good.
That's a lot better than 1.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is that you have to switch it out as not good.
Yeah, but it was getting time. I mean, I gutted everything, got rid of all the 32-bit shit all at the same time.
Yeah.
Everything's 64-bit now. I got rid of all of the, you know those machines that come with the built-in security breach called Windows? I got rid of all them. I got rid of all them things too. I mean, other than a couple of exceptions, everything's on Linux now. And the couple of exceptions are just a necessary evil.
Mac.
No, they're servers that came with, you know, like Server 2012 or Server 2008, whatever the hell came with them, but you gotta have a Windows box around somewhere.
Yeah.
Whenever you got that many machines, you've gotta have a Mac, you've gotta have your Linux boxes, of course, and you gotta have a Windows box around somewhere because somebody's gonna bring in their infected Windows piece of shit and put your entire network at risk, and sooner or later you're gonna have to clean up their machine, fire them, and send them home with it. And you know, I mean, people come in, the Wi-Fi, the new Wi-Fi is has complete AP isolation, literally a separate network just for, you know, sales guys that come in and need Wi-Fi, whatever. So it's off the main network now, but for a long time we had breaches that way where What was it? It was a Cisco access point. One of the ones that used the old Aeronet 350B cards. It used two of them.
Yeah.
But one of the sales guys came in with some nasty virus and didn't hurt the access point, but managed to infect a couple of the Windows machines that were on the network that didn't even belong to us. So that problem's been eliminated now. And in fact, people with 4G on their cell phones that aren't even paying for it, they can go in there and they'll have hotspot internet on the 4G and no, I think it's the one at the house that does 5G, which I don't even know what the hell 5G is. I just know the damn thing does it. I haven't done any research on it. Well, no, it came with it. That's a base stack / Netgear product. It came with 5G built into it. I do not know why.
Maybe they were expecting Europe and the United States to be more fluid in transition.
Could be. Could be.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, you know those clear plastic soda bottles? Like the soda drinks?
Yeah.
I figured out what you can do with a cigarette, a Carl Jr. Hardy's straw, a soda bottle, and since I don't want a hill and I don't have a reverse osmosis water, well water and peach drink mix go great together. So, put the cigarette, suck the hole in the front of the bottle, turn it around, suck the hole on the other side of the bottle, shove the straw in the first hole of the 45, pour in some peach drink, pull some air through it, and then roll me up one real quick, put it in the end, and that shit hits hard.
You made a power hitter. Yeah, what we used to do is just take the cap off, and we used to have these mechanical pencils in college, and the top twisted where the eraser went in.
Yeah.
We'd push the eraser through, get it out of there, and then we'd run that little metal piece into the plastic cap.
Alright.
And we'd use it to cut the hole, so it fit perfect. And then we'd just stick our joint in there, get it going real good, and just screw the bottle right onto the cap and then squeeze before it had a chance to go out.
Yeah.
That was our power hitter.
Yeah. I can see that.
Man, I miss them days. We used to take Twinkie wrappers and make road flares. I think it's a different plastic now, but you used to be able to take Twinkie wrappers and twist them together as tight as you could. And light them, blow them out right away, and the end would stay red. It wasn't as bright as a real road flare, but we called them that. And we'd use those, we'd go around and use those to light our firecrackers with. Yeah, I believe it.
Or 90s or something. When they had the oil company said something about the way they were manufacturing plastic, and they were going to outlaw a certain kind of plastic. I think you did ban it in California. Whenever that went through, they had to change all the wrappers on all the like freaking postage stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they changed companies, because Twinkies ain't Twinkies no more, it's a new company now. Because remember, we didn't have Twinkies for a while.
Yeah, I'm sure Rosie O'Donnell was having it tough.
Man, I was jonesing. And then I know that they changed the pop bottles. Something about they have to deteriorate in such a period of time.
Yeah.
I know that that was nationwide. Yeah, I know the old ones, they'd last like 200 years, and the new ones are supposed to be gone in a couple years or 10 years or whatever.
I'd go 50 up unless they're collecting bottles and they fucking fall apart on me.
Yeah, well, it's the sunlight that degrades them, I think. Because they're still having the same problem in the landfills that they were with, well, they still are having with newspapers. You've got newspapers from the 50s, if you dig deep enough in this trash island, which is actually the highest point in the state of Florida right now.
Really?
Really, truly, it is the highest point in the state of Florida is a trash mountain. But if you dig down deep enough, you can still read perfectly the newspapers from the 50s. They don't even fall apart like, you know, when I found all those old tickets in that house I bought to flip, I was up in the attic, I found state fair tickets from 1914, and you go to pick them up and they crumble. Them newspapers in that landfill don't do that. They're still just as good as the day they was made. But I think, you know, being buried that deep, the oxygen takes it away or something.
The lack of oxygen, you mean?
Yeah, the lack of oxygen
Yeah.
creates a hypoxic environment.
Well, also, it's the paper as it's starting to settle, chemically, when it's starting to settle, it's releasing gases. So if it doesn't have oxygen, then the gas doesn't really have anywhere to go, right?
Yeah.
That might have something to do with it.
Yeah. I've never known newsprint to be acid-free. In fact, I've known some newsprint that was some pretty good acid.
Was that on the funny pages?
No, I never got to try any of that, but one of the guys in college, he made a batch one time, and it was the real recipe for LSD. And I mean the real one, the CIA approved one. But the paper he used was just whatever newspaper we had around, because strangely enough, even though we were all college students, we had no paper that day. None of us had a notebook that we didn't have something on that we needed. And we were all desperate to try this. And that was back in the days. You could have told us that if licking a horse's balls would get us high, we'd have been like, "No, man, you bullshitting." Wait a minute, hold his tail.
The age difference. I'm just thinking, no. The horse's balls, no.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, hey, this is the 80s. Fuck, we did cocaine. We used to sit. We had these things called Quaaludes, and I know that your generation will never see the real thing. There was lemons and roars. They were both 714, and the lemons were the ones that you wanted. We'd pop one of those, drive down to the McDonald's, which was around the corner from us, and sit in the parking lot. We were worse than drunks, but we weren't getting any tickets for drunk driving or anything because we were not going anywhere. And we thought we were moving, but we wasn't. You know, you see these kids today, you know, the mental patients, they'll do that Thorazine shuffle. Somebody on Quaaludes is about the same thing, if it's a real lewd.
The one that basically your mind thinks you're going somewhere, but your body doesn't actually move.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I've experienced that before. But not clearly. Something else.
Yeah, I mean, the worst ticket we'd ever got was illegal parking. Nowadays, all I do is smoke weed, but that's probably a good thing because, you know, back then, I mean, they couldn't even piss test you, which I don't have to worry about it. I mean, I'm retired, but shit, back then it didn't matter. You'd do anything you want. We'd be out there fucking prepping a spot for a pad for a radar turret, be on a D9. Joint hanging out of our mouth, fucking ate us a couple of Valiums in the morning and snorted a line with our buddy that had some coke, and it was all okay back then. As long as we didn't do it stateside, the company didn't fucking care. We did it stateside, we was getting our ass fired, but as long as we were outside the United States, they did not give a shit. And when we were inside the United States, it was like, hey, you know, smoke you a little weed, drink you a little beer, don't do none of that hard shit and come to work. Take you a day off if you're gonna do that. You take too many days off, we're gonna fire your ass. I never got fired. I kept my job for 22 years. Oh yeah, if we were servicing radio towers, man, that was the days. It was, we got our regular pay the first 50 feet. After 50 feet, we jumped to 25 an hour. After 100 feet, we got 35 an hour hazard pay. After 400 feet, we got 100 an hour hazard pay. Now this is on top of our base pay. And it didn't matter if all we were doing was going up there to change some coax or change some light bulbs, because these taller towers, you do have to have bulbs if they're anything over 80 feet. Used to be 100. You got to have bulbs on them, you know, let the airplanes know, hey, don't hit this thing, it's not going to move. But, oh. Man, I wish I'd have known that back. Man, I've had sex on top of a 440-foot tower one time. That was right there out in your home neck of the woods down in 29 Palms.
Oh shit. Yeah, 29 Palms is the south of me, but I haven't had friends that are stationed there pretty much my second home. I know Miramar a little bit better though.
I know Torrance, Gardenia, Oxnard. I know Oxnard better than anything because, I mean, that's where one of our hangars was, but Torrance and Gardenia, I just kept apartments there because I was UCSD Pasadena and Cal State Polytechnic Pasadena, just taking a couple of courses to meet some criteria for work so we could get certified for something that they desperately wanted a contract for that we never got. Wasn't my fault. You know, I kept a 4.0 GPA every class that they ever sent me to, and that'd be a 5.0 these days from my understanding. I understand they added an extra number in there now.
What?
Huh?
Okay,
then I guess they ain't changed it.
I graduated with a 3.8. I was really close.
I maintained a 4.0 for every class I ever took, but that's just because I can pick up a book, read it, and I'm going to remember it whether I want to or not. But no, somebody was telling me they had changed it to 5.0 somewhere. And that was.
Is that because they changed an F from 0 to like 10%?
It was one of Chris's friends. I do have to admit that. Or no, I take that back. That was one of Jared's friends. I think the only reason that kid knows Chris is by proxy.
What, they finally passed and get out of kindergarten?
No, he never did pass. A couple of years ago, he had a DWI, so he never finished his first full year. Because after he got his DWI, he made the mistake of trying to fight it in court and ended up with a year in jail, a year and a day. And I think the reason it was, he was trying to fight it, get it back down to a misdemeanor DUI, but because there was property damage or injury or some shit, I'd have to pull his case up, which I haven't done because he's a friend. I don't do background on friends. I think there was property damage or physical injury involved is why it was a felony DUI. And he was trying to beat it down to a misdemeanor and ended out with a year and a day instead.
That sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, I gotta get, dude. I gotta take this one.
Alright.
Alright, if the sound comes through, I'll put this up. Alright, I'll let you after that.
If not, static, my part's out, so it sounds like you're talking to yourself. And still
Alright, well, I'll let you later.
Alright, later.
Hit that button.